press and go live on our Instagram tab here. Just bear with me 1 little second. Okay, we're just going live on Instagram. Okay, and we should be live everywhere. So hello, thank you everybody for joining us for tonight's live stream for Money Live. And tonight we're really excited because we have got top voice in finance for LinkedIn, an ex-banking managing director and our very own CEO, Olga Miller. So thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, hi everybody. Hello. I hope you had a fun challenge so far, and I hope everybody has somehow withstood the storm in the UK, at least those who were in the UK. Here in Switzerland, no storm, just shitty rain. Yes.
Oh, we were used
I'm
to
glad
the rain.
your house is still standing, Amanda, because when I was speaking to my colleague Tanya earlier this afternoon, she was sitting completely in the dark and her Zoom would kind of go light on, off, light on, off. So it felt a little bit like investing in uncertain times, watching her during the storm.
Yeah, nice tie-in, ups and downs. I look a little bit like here as well. I promise you, it's not a hostage situation. I'm here. Pretty well.
Thank God. Thank you for assuring me, Amanda. I mean, that would be very regrettable, you know.
I need to get some new lights for these lives, but yes, let's get into it. So as Olga mentioned, we are doing this live as part of our 21-day Smart Purse Challenge, which helps people get off to a really great start for their financial goals for 2024. And today is 15 and it's day 15 and it's all about investing. So we thought, you know what, we're going to share our conversation tonight across all of our platforms and share our tips with all of our community and our social media followers as well. So thank you so much for joining. I put out a story post earlier asking if anyone had any questions about invest, so you can carry on and put that in the comments if you get anything else you'd like to ask our expert tonight, Olga, and we'll try and demystify investing as much as we can. So let's get started. So Olga, she absolutely loves money and her passion is making money fun, as you probably know if you follow us on social media. So I want to know, so you teach 10,000 people per year about money. What is it that stops people investing?
I think it's all different things, to be quite honest. You can't generalize it, but if I kind of pick the most common ones, okay, and maybe that sounds familiar to some people listening here on the various live streams. So first and utmost is, for many, it's the language, okay? It's kind of the language. So there is this sentiment, I need to know a lot, otherwise I'm going to lose the money. And while that is absolutely true, that at one point you should be familiar, at least with the main investment principles and concepts, I think in today's time, one easy way to start is, for example, with a roundup investing function. So you neither need to deploy a lot of money at the start, nor with the modern tools, you need to learn a lot about kind of the lingo. I think so. One is kind of shying away from the language and all these acronyms and all these things. The second big reason is overwhelmed by tools. With increased technology, now also AI coming into the mix, naturally the financial landscape tools mushroom. I would call it really mushroom, right? So there is a new specialized tool every day for something helping you with your finances. And because they all have funny names and are not necessarily super easily described, what it does is that many people go like, God, I have no clue. Do I now use this tool? Do I choose this product? How much will it cost me? It's asking me to sign up here. And it just becomes overwhelming. And I completely can relate to that, right? So for anyone on the live stream, you just have to know one thing. I really know a lot about money and I love talking and teaching money. What I can't do is cook, okay? I literally could not cook a boiled egg, yeah? So when I have to go to the supermarket shopping, very simple food shopping, I think it's probably how many people feel about investing. Complete paralysis, okay? I get stuck at the entrance with the vegetables. So unless my family gives me a very precise shopping list, okay, the shopping ends up being a complete disaster. And they all laugh at me, my husband and my two boys, right? So I think it's nothing to be ashamed of for anyone, and me of all people can absolutely relate to it, because I think with most investing instruments people feel like Olga in the supermarket, completely overwhelmed. You're like studying the nutrition facts, you try to depict whether this is vegan or not, whether it has nutritional value or not. Same happens with all of these investment tools. So what is the remedy here? Most of these tools
Yeah.
are very well regulated in most countries, okay, with the exception of investment schemes that promise very fast returns in very short time. Certainly do not settle for those, and potentially with some sad exceptions on the crypto side. But if we speak of mainstream investing, most of these tools
Yeah.
are well regulated. Try a couple with a demo account and then pick the one that speaks to you the most and start with a smaller amount, okay, to avoid this paralysis, because you can be analyzing thousands of tools. If you are in the UK, super helpful website is Martin Lewis, money saving expert, really good comparisons. If anyone from Switzerland is watching and listening, Moneyland in Switzerland, super helpful comparison website. There you find basic information and then just get on with it.
You mentioned, can I just jump back? See, for people who are just starting, they don't know anything about investing, you said some people be wary of companies who offer you really big returns. Would, if you're just starting, what kind of return would you say was reasonable? And what would you be about like, that sounds a wee bit iffy, that sounds too good to be true?
Look, it's very hard to kind of say what return is reasonable, because it depends on the strategy you choose and on your
Yeah.
individual risk profile. But where I would be very suspicious, and I think these are kind of the signs, and Amanda, you know, we even have an article around this, how to depict scam, right? Is if something promises fast returns speedily. So
Yeah.
fast returns might be like you double your thing within the next 2-3 months, right? Your investment within the
Yeah.
next 2-3 months. It's a big return, like, you know, make 15-20% more with limited risk. Such a thing just doesn't
Yeah.
exist, right?
That's this.
There
Yeah.
also are schemes so well made using fake celebrity images, right? So, for example, in Switzerland,
Yeah.
some of the economic news reporters have been misused. And there was a whole identity built about them that they are recommending this or the other scheme, and these guys didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So when it's
That
using a
happened to
lot of
Martin
funnel,
Lewis. That
yeah,
happened to Martin
exactly.
Lewis as well last
So
year. Yeah.
terrible, right? Then another indication
Yeah.
is as part of the process, somehow this tool or the provider starts to pressure you. You have to do it today, you have to do it soon, you might be losing out. These are all kind of indications that it might not be
Red
super
flag.
sound. And
Yeah.
those of you who
Yeah.
are part of the challenge, or even if you are not, please do not shy away. If you come across something remotely suspicious, send it to us in SmartPurse, to our inbox, team@smartpurse.me, or if you are on the app, through the chat in the app, we happily check these things out. Okay, I have people sending me stuff on a regular basis. Usually when it smells fishy, it actually also turned out fishy. So we are very, very happy to help, just to protect anyone who might be listening and might have an interest, to kind of prevent from these things. The other thing that happens very often in scam is people fishing for passwords, right? So a
Yeah.
serious provider will not fish for your passwords. And then also, and that is a very sad thing, love scams, right? Which is not a
Yeah.
subject to discuss here. But just be aware that these digital approaches when it comes to investing have increased enormously in the past, let's say 3 to 5 years. So it is really good to be kind of alert and on your toes, right? On the
Yeah.
contrary, a serious provider, if you work with a financial expert or an advisor, will not pressure you into doing something fast. They will provide clear information. They will do a calculation what it costs for you. And on a digital tool, you are able to do a test account, to think it over, right? Figure out whether that really is for you, and potentially also on a digital tool, speak to a human as expert. Reviews, ratings
Definitely.
helps, asking the community, and if in case of doubt, anyone feel free to email us or message us or use whatever channel.
Yeah, definitely. Because we talk a lot about the value, why people should invest, and the best time to invest or plant a tree was 20 years ago. But when you are at that stage that you're starting to seriously think about doing it, it's great that you've got there. So just take that little bit of extra time to make sure you feel confident about where your money's going before you make that first move. So people are just getting started, and what we talked about today in our challenge email was just simple investment strategies. There's so many different words, as you said, that goes about all the jargon. So we kind of broke it down within the app and in our challenge into three main ways that you can invest. Olga, would you like to dive into them for us?
Yeah, no, absolutely, with pleasure.
So first,
Look, I think one of the easiest ways to get started really is to use a roundup invest function. So what is that? If you have a debit card that allows to round up on the next pound, Swiss franc, or US dollar, or whatever you might have, right? Then there are certain providers that then allow you to invest that pocket change. So Moneybox in the UK, right? Revolut in the UK allows to do that. Also for people from Switzerland,
yeah,
Revolut allows, or Kaspar und, which is another Swiss provider that allows to do that. And that is a super easy, non-threatening way, because de facto you're investing your
yeah,
pocket change. The second option is,
definitely.
sorry, Amanda, you were saying?
Yeah, sorry, I was just pulling up a question just when you were on that topic from somebody
Sure.
on our Instagram. It would be a good time to ask you this, if you don't mind. It was just they were saying they've only got £25 per month that they are able to invest. And they says, can you really see any return on £25 a
Yeah,
month?
absolutely. Absolutely. And if you only have £25 a month to invest, and you are from the UK, you still can put that forward towards a stocks and shares ISA, right? So you actually do
Absolutely.
make a benefit even on the taxes. You can do it probably in the
Mhm.
easiest and most cost-effective ways with some form of an online tool. I would need to dig which one
Mhm.
now would be the most cost-effective way, but they are very good ISA investment plans in the UK. So that can be one way, right? To do it. The other option could be that you buy a broad-based exchange-traded fund, so like a basket that covers, I don't know, multitude of companies, and you buy small portions. That usually works with very small amounts too. Important when you have
Yeah.
small amounts is to choose an online tool that will charge you very low fees. Okay? Because if you
Mhm.
have only £25 a month, naturally you don't want to be paying five to make kind of the investment. So really looking into how
That's a
much this is going to cost you is absolutely paramount, the smaller the amount is. That's why usually
great
for
tip.
people with small amounts, I do recommend one of these so-called robo-advisor solutions. On
Mhm.
roboadvisors.com, you find some good comparison from the UK on Martin Lewis, from Switzerland on Moneyland, and really kind of get on with this with the small amounts. Will you see returns? Yes, you will see returns. Because even if you were to put only £25 a month towards your investment, right, it still is roughly £300 a year, if I'm not mistaken, right? So
Yeah.
you will see a return. right? It's the regularity that makes the thing. And that brings me kind of, people often ask me saying, so what is your success in investing and what works for you? And I have to be such a huge disappointment to everybody. Sheer boredom. Okay, I invest regularly an amount that I can afford. It varies with my income. Yeah. So when I was earning more money, it was more. When I'm now earning less money, it's less. But regularly every month. And I've been doing this since I'm 16. Right. And I never
Since you're
stop.
16.
Since I'm 16.
Wow.
So
Good for you.
yeah. So
What
basically it is
made you get
this.
Sorry. Yeah, just consistent. Yeah, it's not a roller coaster ride. It's just playing the long game consistently, everything yourself first. So that's amazing. You started at 16. What made you want to start? Was it your parents that told
My
you about
mom.
investing? Your
My mom,
mom?
she dragged me to her bank to meet her banker, which was rather uneventful, but I kind of thought, oh my God. So, I mean, the person didn't explain a lot about investing, but it was kind of this interesting thing to go into this intimidating bank with my mom and meet this person and then kind of figure out. And eventually they recommended something. And I think it was two things, infrastructure and kind of fashion luxury goods. So I could comprehend the idea of the infrastructure. And I love the luxury goods. This would kind of speak to me because I could imagine what it was, right? It was tangible. So I started investing that way. And then
Wow,
eventually
good
got
for
interested
you.
in it all. And of course, the older I got, the more I started to form my own opinion. But yeah, it is consistency that in the end will
Yeah.
make it big and fat for you.
Brilliant. Okay, fantastic. Great advice. And so, what age? So, you were obviously 16, so you were quite young, very young when you get started, which is fantastic. What age would you say is a good age to start talking to children about investing?
I started to talk to mine about money when they were about 3, naturally adapted, because then they can comprehend what are coins and, all these things,
Yeah.
pocket money and all of that stuff. And I think about the concept of investing when they were about 11 or 12.
Okay.
So we
Yeah.
started to discuss how does money grow, what are interest rates, eventually what are stocks, how do stocks relate to companies, how does it relate to kind of daily products that they were using,
Yeah.
right? This is, I think, also how we all can imagine investing in the best way, and also how we find, or at least I find, a lot of investment ideas, right? We all are consumers of products. When we
Yeah.
buy them, we don't think about it too much, I guess. The fact that also these companies usually are stock listed companies and you can invest in them, right? Might be a really, it's not such a far idea. Why would you not, right?
No, and that's something exciting for children if they love like Nike trainers to get introduced to the concept. You could own a little bit of that company, could kind of really spark some excitement in kids. I think 11 is probably a fantastic age.
Yeah, 11. And then I think we
Now,
started to make their first investments, kind of discussing where their money would go when they were about 13, 14. Where we were sitting in front of
right.
the computer, looking at this stuff, discussing more, what do these stocks do, what do these companies do, does sustainability play a role, some of these ethical values, what matters to them really, in what do they believe. So yeah, and my kids are completely different. One is kind of a disciplined investor, and the other one started when he was 15, I think, on crypto. Is like a little bit of a news junkie. So they are very different. You will detect very interesting personality traits in your children when you speak to them about money.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. My little boy actually started his first business on Saturday there, his car washing business. So
Yeah.
£3.50 if you're in the Ayrshire area, you can get a bargain car wash and maybe hopefully not any free scratches. But yeah, he's still learning.
How wonderful.
I'm just having a little look on our Instagram here, everybody. So if you've got any questions at all you would like to ask Olga, please just drop them, or myself, just please drop them into the chat. Get Isabel saying, that's a great idea from earlier. Thank you for your comment, Isabel. I'm just going to pop on and see if we've got any questions here, guys. Okay. It doesn't look like we've got anything at the moment, so we'll just carry on. So now when it is, people do have their budgets so stretched at the time with the cost of living crisis, and there's big news in the UK at the moment that they're coming out to say that they're putting the retirement age up now for Gen Z. So people in their 20s now are, that it's looking like it's going to be 70 now for retirement. And it can be difficult when it seems so far away when you're in your 20s to be thinking to prepare for them. But what do you think you could say to somebody to encourage people to start in their 20s? I know that I wish I started in my 20s, when you see the difference that 10 years can make to invest. What would you say to somebody in their 20s and thinking, I'm going to leave that until later?
Look, it's very hard, right? I think it's not a UK phenomenon. Also in Switzerland, only 1/3 of young people between 20 to 25 are concerned with their retirement. And I don't blame anyone, really. I mean, were we concerned with our retirement at the age of 20? I'm not concerned with my retirement now, and I'm 48, right? So, okay. I think it's just getting into the habit. Literally, I mean, there is no convincing to be done, right? There is, I think, the concept of financial freedom and independence that kind of speaks to many people at a younger age, if you are asking, right? There is the whole FIRE movement, as you well know, Amanda, which people in the US, for example, save a lot of money to retire much earlier than 70. So I think approaching it from a financial freedom perspective can be convincing. The other thing is, I think it's like planning for retirement or saving up or investing up for retirement is like brushing teeth. Honestly, you have to install a habit, right? You have to install a habit, and even if it is a really small amount, be it 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever, right? Again, the habit will make the difference. If you had started putting 20 pounds a month aside for your retirement for 10 years, it already would have made a sizable chunk, right? So also there, we shouldn't expect of young people to work wonders, because their money is needed for other things, such as life, right? And enjoying life and making the best of it, and their personal education. And mind you, many young people, not in Switzerland, but outside of Switzerland, carry student loans. They have to repay those loans. So it's kind of a stupid ask, but what I recommend is you should say, just take an amount you feel comfortable with, put it on a bloody autopilot, and forget about it. Okay? You will be thankful when you're 30 or 40 or 50. Okay? Not now, but just don't stop. And that works. So when I teach university students here in Zurich, they usually start to take action, because they understand very well that even these state systems we so trying to kind of put under reform, might not even be there for them.
That's it.
We don't know if they will be there for us, right? I mean, it is sad reality we all have to face.
That's it. And I think especially the younger generations now, because we were told, people in our 30s, just to get a corporate job and that's going to be you set for life, because that's what our parents had seen their parents do, and that's not the way anymore. So we need to go and find these side hustles and way to grow our wealth and pensions and everything now, and people are just becoming so much more aware that it's just not going to be there like it's been for generations before. And that's why I think it's such an exciting time to talk about investing, because literally anybody can do it, literally from the comfort of their own fingertips, and you've got all these resources to help you every step of the way. And that's why I just wanted to have a chat about our app as well. So everybody within the challenge, you may have just been looking at the emails, but you've also got free access to our app. And we have got a whole module on investing if you want to dive deeper into the topic, or if you've not been in the challenge, you can download our app for free for a week and you can go through our investing modules. One thing that we hear from women as well is people can be put off investing, women and men, because they don't want to fund companies that don't align with their values. And you do hear a lot about this in the investing world. So people do want to know that the companies are sustainable, they might be vegan, anything that like aligns with their heart. And we've got a whole module dedicated to that as well, to teach you how to invest sustainably, which is really fantastic, out on the app as well. That sounds
Even
nearly
though
coming.
we have to be very realistic that sustainable investing or ESG investing, or however you want to call it, still has to come a long way, huh? Especially when you try to do it with funds, where you cannot choose single companies, but you de facto choose this whole basket. For many people, it turns out to be a very disappointing affair. So I think while best effort can be undertaken, also one has to be mindful that, you know, investing or the analysis that it might take you to find all of these ethical companies also might put you off, and that shouldn't be the case, right? So kind of figuring out how far your boundaries go and how much time you want to dedicate to it. I'm just mentioning because it can be very far-reaching. So for anyone who is thinking about to start out, of course, have a look what these investments do. It's great practice, but don't let the data avalanche put you off from investing altogether, because that would be a big loss for you personally.
Sure. Just make a start, whatever that can be, is to get started. Work out your budget, how much you can afford to start putting away. And if it is small, that's fine. And that can always grow in the future. Have a look and see what's right for you. And if you're looking for extra help as well, we have our community within the app. You can also message us on Instagram if you get any more questions or any of the join us on. And if you're looking for help and connect with financial advisors, we have some absolutely amazing financial app as well that you can contact directly through them and see how they can help you in your investment journey. And that can be throughout your journey or just getting started as well. Get any last questions? We've got 2 minutes left. I'm just going to have a wee look on Instagram to see if anybody has left anything in the chat.
Yeah, I really hate to be a disappointment to anyone listening, but quite frankly, there is no other secret magic sauce. Maybe kind of the top tips around this is, we already touched on discipline, whatever amount you might have, cost effectiveness, and broadly diversified. So broad kind of thing. If you put all your eggs into one basket or onto one horse, naturally, it might not be a great idea if things don't go as planned, right? There is numerous research that has found out that this approach to invest, as boring as it might be, actually proves to be extremely beneficial, and at times far more effective and revenue generating than trying all kinds of different theories and fiddling around with too much. Naturally, super investors like Warren Buffett or the likes might not necessarily agree with this theory, but quite frankly, they also have 6 to 8 hours every day to read the news. Not all of us have that luxury, right? So we have to be mindful of the fact that maybe using simple strategies, as stupid as it sounds, might be actually the most effective ones.
Definitely. That's great. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Olga. Good luck to everybody in their challenge. 15 days down, or nearly at the end. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy the rest of the evening and stay safe if you're experiencing.
7 days to go. 7 days to go. Yes, yes.
Nearly there. Nearly there. So thanks again. Have a lovely evening, guys. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.